I said, I'm about to go to bed. I was just checking on you. She said, I got gas and I'm out. I should be back soon. I love you too. Good night.
Now listen, I need to share something with y'all today that's gonna hit different. We're talking about a young lady named Dakara Thompson, and what happened to her is gonna make you hug your babies a little tighter tonight. During the search for this 19-year-old, her mother stood in front of cameras, voice shaking, pain written all over her face, and said these words.
I'm so broken. I'm so broken. Nobody should have to experience what I'm feeling right now as a parent. It's an undescribable feeling. I just want my daughter back safe. I do. PG County Police is working hard behind the scenes. They've made this case a priority, which I appreciate so much. With our efforts and their efforts put together, we are working so hard to try to get her back. I have no idea what brought her to this area on that particular day.
She looked directly into that camera and spoke to her missing daughter.
A message to my baby girl. We love you. We love you so much. If you see this, do whatever you have to. Do whatever you have to get out of your situation, and you get somewhere and you let somebody know you need help. Whatever you need to do. Mom and dad is here. Your family, your community, everybody is standing behind you, and we are waiting to have you back in our arms.
Here's what makes this so heartbreaking. While this mother was making this desperate plea, believing her daughter might still be out there somewhere, Dakara had already been taken from this world. And the person responsible, a 35-year-old man named Hugo Hernandez Mendez, who had no business being in this country in the first place. Can we talk about this for a second? Because what happened to Dakara Thompson in Prince George's County, Maryland, isn't just another tragic story. This case has layers that are going to make you question everything about how our system works, how our young people navigate this world, and why someone who had already been arrested by federal authorities was walking free to harm our community. Now, before we get into what actually went down that night in August, let me tell you who Dakara was. This wasn't just any 19-year-old. This young woman had just graduated from St. Charles High School in Charles County and was dedicating her life to serving others. She was working for a nonprofit in Prince George's County as part of Maryland's Service Year Option Program. That's the program sponsored by Governor Wes Moore, where young people commit to public service right out of high school. Pay attention to this part because it's important. This was a young woman who chose service over everything else. At 19 years old, Dakara was out here trying to make her community better. Her county executive, Aisha Braveboy, described her like this.
So this is a young woman who dedicated part of her young life to serving others, And I want that to ring home to all of you that this is a good young woman who wanted to do good for her community. And now her community will stand behind her family as we seek justice for her.
So when I tell you what happened to her, understand that we lost someone special. We lost someone who was actively working to lift up the very community she lived in. Here's where things get complicated, and I need you to follow me on this timeline, because the details matter. On August 22nd, around 10 o'clock at night, Dakara left her father's house in Lanham. She told him she was gonna get gas. Simple enough, right? Her father, Daniel Thompson, described that last conversation.
It was blew after 10 p.m. She said, Dad, I'll be back.
Now hold up. Did you catch that? 10 o'clock at night to get gas. Some of you might be thinking that's late. Some might think it's normal for a 19-year-old. But here's what happened next that has everyone asking questions. Dakara texted her father that night, not knowing that it was going to be the last time.
I said, I'm about to go to bed. I was just checking on you. She said, I got gas and I'm out. I should be back soon. I love you too. Good night.
That text came in before midnight, but Dakara never made it home that night. And when her family went looking for her the next day, they found her white 2013 Ford Edge parked in front of a fire hydrant near the intersection of Jasmine Terrace and Riggs Road in Langley Park. Here's where this story gets interesting, and I know exactly what you're thinking right now. When police searched that car, They found everything.
Police came to the scene. We did discover that all of her personal belongings were in her car, such as her purse, her credit card, her debit cards. She even had $60 cash.
Even her house keys were still in there. But her phone? Gone. Let me break this down for you. If someone was trying to rob Dakara, why would they leave $60 cash and all her cards? If this was carjacking, why abandon the car in such an obvious spot? And if she just stepped away from her vehicle for a minute, why take only her phone? But here's the part that has everyone in the community talking. Dakara's father gave surveillance footage to News 4, and that footage allegedly shows Dakara walking away from her car around 1:30 in the morning Saturday. That's about 3 hours after she left her father's house in Lanham. You see what I'm getting at here? She left home at 10 p.m. to get gas, sent that final text before midnight saying she got gas and would be back soon. But surveillance shows her abandoning her car at 1:30 a.m. What happened during those hours? Her parents made it clear they had no idea why their daughter would even be in that neighborhood.
I have never had any knowledge of her coming to this side of town at all. We don't have any family, any friends that I knew of that she had in this area. I have no idea what brought her to this area on that particular day.
The family was completely confused. This wasn't somewhere Dakara would normally go. This wasn't on her way home from the gas station. This was a detour that nobody could explain. Now here's where this case takes a turn that nobody saw coming. Remember, we left off with Dakara walking away from her car at 1:30 in the morning, in a neighborhood her family said she had no reason to be in. But there's more surveillance footage, and what it shows is going to answer some questions while raising even bigger ones. At approximately 3 o'clock that morning, in almost 5 hours after she left home for gas, another camera captured something that changed everything. This footage shows Dakara approaching a black SUV and speaking to the driver. Then, according to investigators, she gets into that vehicle willingly. Police Chief George Nader was very specific about this detail during the press conference.
year-old Dakara Thompson was last seen on August the 22nd. She was reported missing the very next day. On August the 21st, her family located the vehicle in the area of Jasmine Terrace in Hyattsville, Maryland. On August 31st, what we believe to have been Dakara's body was located by the Maryland State Police Department in the area of eastbound Route 50 at Route 97. On August 23rd, in the area of University Boulevard in Hyattsville, Maryland, a short distance from her vehicle, at approximately 3 a.m. For reasons still under investigation, it appears that Dakara willfully entered a vehicle being driven by Hugo Rene Hernandez Mendez, 35-year-old male, out of Bowie, Maryland.
How does a 19-year-old end up willingly getting into a car with a 35-year-old stranger at 3 in the morning? But hold on, because we need to talk about who this Hugo Hernandez Mendez really is. This man wasn't just some random person on the street. He's a 35-year-old from Bowie, Maryland, and here's what we know about his background. And trust me, this is going to make you mad. Hugo Hernandez Mendez was in this country illegally. He's originally from Guatemala and entered the United States without proper documentation. But here's the part that's got people fired up. This man had already been arrested by U.S. Park Police in April 2025 for driving under the influence. And what happened after that arrest? He was released pending trial. I really hope you got that. When County Executive Aisha Braveboy was asked about this during the press conference, her response tells you everything you need to know about how frustrated local officials are with this situation.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about that?
So, as was indicated, he was arrested by U.S. Park Police, which falls under the auspices of the federal government. So the federal government arrested him in April of this year on a DUI charge. He was then released pending his trial. I don't believe his trial date has come up yet. So what we know is that he did not, according to our records, have any contact at the state level, but he was arrested by federal authorities in April.
I imagine that there's going to be some reaction to this man's arrest now in the news nationally. What are your thoughts about that? Is his status relevant at all in this case? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that the U.S. Government has made status of individuals relevant. This was someone who was in their custody, and they made the decision to release him. So I think the questions should be asked of the Justice Department. Thank you.
You hear that? She's essentially saying, don't ask us why this man was walking free. Ask the federal government who had him in custody and let him go. Now let me break down what investigators believe happened that night. After Dakara got into Hugo's black SUV, he drove her to his home on Cambridge Drive in Bowie. That's where police say the worst thing happened. They believe Dakara was murdered in Hugo's bedroom. Police Chief Nader was clear about what they found when they executed search warrants on September 4th.
We believe the murder occurred in the home on Cambridge Drive in Hernandez's bedroom. Her body was taken to the location that it was recovered at by Hernandez. At this time, there are no additional suspects. However, this investigation is ongoing. Our thoughts and prayers are with her family during this time.
So this man didn't just harm Dakara in his home. He then transported her body to where it would eventually be found. And where was that? About 7 miles away from the crime scene.
That area is probably about 7 miles away from the murder location, but a good distance away from where she went missing. So we are thankful that the Maryland State Police had the ability to locate that body based on that call for service.
Here's something that's almost like divine intervention. Her body was only discovered because Maryland State Police responded to a call about a disabled vehicle in that area.
Shortly before 5 p.m. on August 31st, troopers from the Maryland State Police Annapolis Barrack were dispatched to the area of U.S. Route 50 between Maryland Route 424 and Interstate 97 in Anne Arundel County for the report of a disabled vehicle. Upon arrival, troopers observed a female lying unresponsive in a grassy area off the highway. Information obtained indicated that the disabled vehicle was unrelated to the investigation that we have embarked upon. Investigators from the Maryland State Police Criminal Enforcement Division South Region responded to the scene along with State Police crime scene technicians from our Forensic Services Division. They processed the scene. Shortly after, they contacted the Prince George's County Police. The Maryland State Police and the Prince George's County Police have been conducting a joint investigation into the death of Ms. Dakara Jackson. As additional information becomes available, I am sure the Prince George's County and the Maryland State Police will share that information with you. The circumstances surrounding her death still remain under investigation, so we will continue to answer those questions that we think the community and the family want those answers. Thank you.
Now I want you to pay attention to how quickly law enforcement moved once they had that surveillance footage. They were able to track the movement of Hugo's vehicle from where Dakara got in all the way to his home address. They obtained search warrants, executed them, and found evidence in his bedroom that led to his arrest. Hugo Hernandez Mendez was charged with first-degree murder and second-degree murder. He's being held without bond, and an ICE detainer was issued for him, meaning even if he somehow got out of jail, immigration officials would be waiting to take him into custody. But here's what's still bothering investigators and has everyone asking questions. Police Chief Nader admitted they interviewed Hugo but got what he called limited cooperation. He also said this: what is surrounding the two coming together, that's what we're still investigating. Think about that. Even with all this evidence, even with surveillance footage, even with a confession leading to murder charges, investigators still don't know how these two people ended up in contact with each other that night. This brings us back to those missing hours. Dakara left home at 10 p.m. She texted her dad before midnight saying she got gas. Surveillance shows her leaving her car at 1:30 a.m. Then at 3 a.m. she gets into Hugo's vehicle. What happened between getting gas and ending up in Langley Park? Who did she meet? Where did she go? Was this planned or was it random? The family has been asking these same questions.
It's not like her at all. This is out of the norm for her. She's a introvert. She doesn't have an enormous amount, like a lot of friends that she hangs with or anything like that. And like, we're really close.
So if she's an introvert who's close with her family, how did she end up in a situation where she's meeting someone at 3 in the morning that her parents knew nothing about? Now let's talk about what this case reveals about our community and the systems that are supposed to protect us. Because Dakara's story doesn't end with an arrest, it starts important conversations we need to have. First, let's address the elephant in the room that has everyone talking. This case has sparked a huge debate about immigration policy and sanctuary jurisdictions. Hugo Hernandez Mendez was arrested by federal authorities in April, released pending trial, and then in August he took Dakara's life. An ICE spokesperson made it clear how they feel about this situation. Hugo Rene Hernandez Mendez is a criminal alien from Guatemala charged with first-degree murder in Prince George's County, Maryland. ICE Baltimore lodged an immigration detainer against Hernandez with the Prince George's County Department of Corrections, who is historically uncooperative. That statement right there tells you everything about the tension between local and federal authorities. ICE is calling out Prince George's County directly, saying they're historically uncooperative with immigration detainers. But here's what I want this community to understand. While politicians debate policy, we lost a real person. We lost Dakara Thompson, who was dedicating her young life to making her community better. And that loss is felt by everyone who knew her. Governor Wes Moore released a statement that captures what this means for all of us. Our entire state mourns the horrible loss of Dakara Thompson, who was taken from us by an act of senseless violence. Dawn and I join all Marylanders in praying for Dakara and her family in the wake of this tragedy. We need to talk about the real questions this case raises for our young people, especially our young Black women. Let me break down what we still don't know, because these gaps matters a lot. Investigators confirmed that Dakara willfully got into Hugo's vehicle, but they also admit they don't understand how these two people came into contact with each other. Was this someone she met online? Was this a chance encounter? Did someone introduce them? We live in a world where our young people are meeting strangers through apps, through social media, through platforms we might not even know about. And sometimes those meetings turn dangerous. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened with Dakara, but what I am saying is that we need to have honest conversations with our young people about digital safety, about meeting strangers, about the importance of telling someone where they're going and who they're meeting. Look at the timeline again. Dakara left home at 10 p.m. for gas. She got gas, texted her father, but then something happened that led her to park her car illegally in a neighborhood she didn't know, walked away from that car, and hours later got into a vehicle with a 35-year-old man. She's an introvert. She doesn't have an enormous amount like a lot of friends that she hangs out with or anything like that. During the investigation, Prince George's County Police worked around the clock. They collaborated with Maryland State Police, Bowie Police, and multiple agencies to solve this case quickly. State's Attorney Tara Jackson explained what happens next.
As I said, this bond hearing may occur on Monday and not today. At this point, there really is not much more that I can offer other than to say in the weeks to come, my office will do a thorough review of the evidence, and we will determine whether or not Mr. Hernandez Mendez should be indicted, and if so, what he should be indicted for. It is important to remind our residents, and I want to do this always, that any person who is charged with a crime in Prince George's is entitled to due process through our judicial system, and it's my job as the state's attorney to ensure that the justice occurs, but that the processes are transparent and fair and in full accordance with the law. And finally, I just want to add that my office remains steadfast in working with our partners daily to make sure that our community is safe. Thank you.
Hugo Hernandez Mendez is scheduled to appear at a bond hearing, where the court will determine whether he should remain held. Given the nature of the charges and his immigration status, it's likely he'll remain in custody. But here's what I want to leave you with today. This case shows us that evil can touch any family, any community, any young person, regardless of how good they are, how much potential they have, or how much they're loved. Dakara Thompson was everything we want our young people to be. She was educated, she was serving her community, she was close with her family. She was described by everyone who knew her as a good person trying to do good things. And yet still crossed paths with someone who don't give a damn about all of that and took her life regardless. The lesson here isn't that our young people should live in fear, but that we need to create communities where they can be safe while still living their lives. We need systems that actually protect people instead of releasing dangerous individuals back into our neighborhoods. And as parents or guardians, we need to give proper education and have real conversations with our young ones about how dangerous and evil it can get out there in the world. Dakara's mother's words during the search will stay with me forever.
Message to my baby girl. We love you. We love you so much. If you see this, do whatever you have to. Do whatever you have to get out of your situation, and you get somewhere and you let somebody know you need help. You whatever you need to do. Mom and Dad is here. Your family, your community, everybody is standing behind you, and we are waiting to have you back in our arms.
She spoke about the community standing behind our young people, and that's exactly what we need to do. We need to stand behind them with protection, with honest conversations, with systems that work, and with love that doesn't judge but guides. Justice for Dakara means more than just convicting Hugo Hernandez Mendez. Justice means making sure this doesn't happen to someone else's daughter, someone else's sister, someone else's community service volunteer who just wanted to make the world better. Listen, if these conversations matter to you, if you believe in protecting our young people and holding systems accountable, I need you to engage with this content. Hit that like button if this story moved you. Subscribe to this channel if you want to keep having real conversations about what's happening in our communities. And share this with someone who needs to hear Dakara's story. Because every time we share these stories, every time we have these difficult conversations, we're creating a network of protection around our young people. We're saying their lives matter, their safety matters, and we're not going to stay quiet when systems fail them. Rest in peace, Dakara Thompson. Your life mattered, your service mattered, and your story is going to help protect other young women. And so we honor you today. Keep each other safe out there, and I'll see you in the next conversation.
Alright, what's your hometown? Where you from? Maryland. Alright, where's your birthday? August 8th. Alright, what's your favorite color? Pink. Okay, what's your dream occupation? Real estate. Ooh, I like that. Okay, what's your biggest pet peeve? Mean people. I don't like mean people either. What's your favorite artist?